How do you know when it's time to change your strings?
It's a good question. So there's a couple of things that happen with dead strings. The first thing I find is that they just start to get non-responsive. Now, the problem with that is that it's hard to tell as it goes on. You know what I mean? It's like being the
Hmm.
frog in the pot of boiling water or whatever. It's like you don't notice until it's a problem. And people always say that they notice when they get new strings. That's when they notice that it has degraded before. You know what I mean? But
Hmm.
I find I have gotten to know the sound of strings after they've gone like that. The second sign is that they won't stay in tune when you bow them. So like you play the string and it kind of goes like that really easy after you take the bow off. See what I mean? Uh,
Hmm.
and what happens is there's a couple of things that happens to them. First of all, they just get too stretched out, so they can't really vibrate anymore. Because if you did tighten them, oh, there's Astrid maybe. If you did tighten them to the tightness where they would still keep working, it would all be way too sharp. So
Hmm.
that's what happens to them. But also, the rosin gets in there between the windings and it kind of saturates and it's old and it dries out and it just can't make a sound anymore. So some people clean them with, and you can use what do you call it? Alcohol, just straight up denatured alcohol to clean your strings. I've done it. I did it during the pandemic because I couldn't get new strings. And it worked really well, I have to say. Like it kept them going for a while. But if it was me, I would just get new ones. And that can happen before they get all stretched out. And then, of course, the thing that happens the most with my strings is that I unravel them. So there's a winding around the A, D, and G string, a flat winding, not like a guitar. A guitar is a round winding. And that's why
Hmm.
when you run your finger up, it makes that zipping sound, right? Whereas the fiddle
Hmm.
doesn't. So it's a flat winding, flat piece of metal. The E is unwound, but the A, D, and G are wound. So with your fingernails, what happens to me is my fingernails will get between the windings and kind of clip them a little bit, and then it'll unravel on me.
Hmm.
And then it's no good anymore. And you gotta get it. That's the most common things that happens to strings.
Okay,
Yeah.
cool.
The unraveling thing is really the most prevalent. And if you don't keep your fingernails trim, then it makes contact with the string first. And it can kind of scratch them and pull them out like that. So I'm kind of paranoid about it. I have a set of fingernail clippers in my case because they're very expensive strings and you can chop them in half before their time.
Yeah, fair.
And for me, it's always the third finger is the first one that unravels. It's always the third finger. Now that is kind of I'm pretty sure that's the finger you use the most, and I think that's why.
Okay. And not the angle that your finger is being held on.
Maybe, I don't know, but another interesting fact about the fingernail is that, like, I always thought it would be your second finger because it pokes down the most. And I read in a newspaper one time that the nail on your second finger grows faster than all your other fingernails.
Hmm.
But I find with the two, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's fatter, but that doesn't. It's always the three that goes first. Sometimes the one.
Hmm.
Who knows? But that's the deal with strings. And I think I might need new ones because I've been playing a lot, like a lot. I did a 2 day fesh on the weekend, 8 hours per day of playing. So and then I did gigs after that. So they're starting to kind of get a little bit rattly and growly, and might get new ones. Well, I actually have new ones. I only had to replace the a while ago, so I put the rest of them on now. How you doing, Astrid? Good. Okay, so we're going to start with the silver spear. And so let's do a nice D major scale to start off with. And we all know how to do that. It starts on the D string, goes all the way up to high A, and all the way down to low A. And I will keep my tuner on to keep us honest. So we'll just go nice and slow and play the scale. D major scale. Ready, go. feel about that? Pretty good? Okay, let's see if we can remember the arpeggio. It starts on the low A and then it's going to be D. Let's try that. Ready? Low A. D. All right, everybody digging D major? Sorry, bad one. Very bad one. Let's just do it again right away. Scale and then arpeggio. Ready? Go. Arpeggio. I had two flatties. The B on the A string and the B on the G string were both flat for some reason. I don't know why. I must have been thinking about something else. How did you guys do? Feeling pretty good? Now I have a guy today, I was teaching a guy today, he's brand new out of the box, except that he's also a bass player. And he was wondering about how you know when you're playing in tune on the violin. What a great question, you know. And he was like, I don't really want to stare at a tuner. And I was like, yeah, I understand. So we were talking about the keys and how they're supposed to sound when you're in tune. And I gave him some examples of the key of D or A and the notes that ring, and how, you know, by the time you're putting those notes together that ring, like in the key of D, it's D and A that are always going to ring out. So if you're playing a tune in the key of D and you keep hearing this ringing, then you know you're doing good. You know, it feels good. The fiddle is reacting like it should. But anyway, so hopefully that's what you had going there with the scale and the arpeggio. I just had a couple of flatties. Okay, so silver spear. Let's do it. I have to make a recording of the encore, Elaine, which is Swallowtail and the Irish Washerwoman. That's going to be the encore. If I do that, I just got a message from Bill. Where's the video? Spoiling you guys. All those videos. Where's my silver spear? Oh, it must be on the Google Drive. Not that I need it, but I always like to read when I'm doing these run-throughs, because I tend to improvise, and because I get bored. And that's very, very confusing for people that are trying to learn. So I just tend to just read it and make sure that I'm not playing anything weird. All right. Now, how fast should we go to handle this? Let's see. Let's start off like this. That should work. That should work. We'll give that a try. Okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. Well, everybody was playing the whole time. That's a very good sign. How did we do?
I couldn't find my music on time, but so I said, I'm going to try this by ear. And I think I was getting half of it, and there's a
Cool.
lot of repetition, and I kept forgetting what number I was on, the first, second, or third part. But I think by the time we went through it the second time, it was just a little bit better. So
Oh, that's really
for what
good.
it was worth, I think it was a good exercise. Now I've got to find the music.
Sure. No, that's good, and I'm glad you did that. That's really good. How about you, Adam? How did you do?
I think I did pretty good when I remembered where we were repeating to. I think
Oh,
I generally got the notes where they were supposed to be.
that's good. Now, the copy that you're looking at, I can't remember what I sent you. Does it say on the bottom right-hand corner 2014 October 5th?
Does not.
Okay, it does not. Okay, I wonder what. Let's see. What about you, Elaine?
Yeah, it was okay. I found it slow.
Yes. Well, you've been working on that one.
Yeah, so it
Yeah.
was.
Now I am putting in a couple of ornaments. I'm putting in rolls. So on the dotted G and the dotted F in the ending, I'm doing rolls on both of those notes. So that might be an idea for you to try the odd one since we're going so slow. Because I think you've done a roll before, and you might be able to get one there, get one in there. Oh, that looked good. Yeah, might be a possibility. And also, what else was I doing? There was those two rolls, and there was double stops. So in the first part, when I play the F sharp, in the very first note, I'm playing the A string with it. And then later in the bar, when the F sharp comes along again, I play the A string with that too. So it sounds like this. See that? A double stop there. Kind of cool. You could probably be capable of doing that, I'd say. And it gives you 3 cracks at it, which is kind of cool. It's actually 6 cracks by the time you repeat them all the parts. All right, let's try it again. Same speed. We'll do it 3 times again. Same speed for the first time. Second 2 times, I'm going to speed it up a little bit. See if there's any panicked looks. Now, Astrid, any luck, or do you want me to put it up on my screen? I'll put it on my screen. And it's kind of funny, too, because this version, I don't know where I got this version. It's on the Google Drive. It's the one with Jackie Coleman. And it says on the very bottom, check this out. It says, copyright 2014's Don't Have Armpits. I have
That's
no idea what that is.
okay. That was one of the members of the Oakville orchestra who used to do all the copying, and that was kind of his signature thing. And
Okay.
coloring and all the coloring on it, was Peter McDougall.
Yes, I remember his coloring. Yes, he did do that to
Yeah.
differentiate. And then down here, he's got this meaning trill, and that's
Uh-huh.
true. That's what it doesn't have to be trill. It does mean trill, but in Celtic music, it just means ornament. Whatever you can fit in there. I don't understand what first F, quick second F, first F is. I don't understand what that is.
Oh, I don't know.
Don't know.
No.
Anyway, I love seeing people's notes on their music. It's always kind of funny. But I love that. Copyright 2014's Don't Have Armpits. Okay, let's give it another go. It's up on my screen now, Astrid. You can read it. One, two, three, go. All right, how did everybody do? Going a good clip there at the end.
Yeah. You don't mind sending that version to me,
No problem.
Dan? That would be great because I'm not sure where that other one went.
No problem. And the other one that's on this
Oh,
file here
guess
is.
what? I just found it.
Oh, you got it?
I'm. It was at the bottom.
Oh, good. Okay,
Now,
that's a
wait,
good version too. That's out of Sandy's book.
so that's the one we just played as well,
Yeah,
or
yeah.
okay. I can't believe it.
Same tune, just different printing. It's always the last one.
Yeah, it was. It's right on the music stand.
All right, everybody else do okay at that tempo? No issues. Elaine, did you manage to get any rolls or anything like that in? Okay. I always say like just trying to do one. That's especially when I first started doing rolls. That's how I did it. So in this tune, you're doing that roll 4 times in the A part, 4 times in the B part. So that's 8 times total that you'd have a crack at it. So I wouldn't try it all 8 times. I would try it maybe twice. You know what I mean? The other 6 times, I'm thinking about how I'm going to do it when the time comes that I do try it. So that's the best way I find to try ornaments. Any questions or anything like that with the silver spear before we move on to something to the maid behind the bar?
I'm just thinking about that exercise that I went through, playing it by ear, so to speak.
Yeah. Yeah.
When I played it the last time with the music in front of me, I found that I was so involved in reading the music rather than really playing what it was really playing.
Yeah.
I was it was too much concentration on the notes when I'm reading. So I'd rather
Absolutely.
learn how to memorize the tunes.
Well, you see, that's why you learn. That's why the tradition is to learn it by ear. It's a form of memorizing, but you do
Yeah.
it kind of as you go. But the music, I don't know how many people that I have. They really want to get to 110 beats a minute, right? Like this one guy, Rick, and had to break him from reading because you just can't read that fast. Nobody could. You just say like if you want to get to a certain spot, you got to stop. You can't have time to read.
Right.
So you're right.
Okay.
But anyway, what's really good, and the way I do it, is glanceability. So I have the music adjacent. And if you need to glance, you can glance. But you can also look away. And you can kind of come back and forth to it. And that really, like when I'm having to learn tunes for a show or for a band, that's often the way I do it. Glanceability. It's a really good way to do it. Okay, Maid Behind the Bar. Or as we called it in Cape Breton, the barmaids. Let's see here. Maid behind the bar. I always made friends with the barmaids when we were overseas when I was a kid. And they would give me, I would help them collect glasses, and they would give me a fizzy apple. It was very, very good. They were probably very patient because I definitely dropped a lot of glasses. Okay, so let's do the same thing. We'll just work it up. We'll start slow. Same key, so we don't have to warm up another key. Okay. 1, 2, 3. One more time. All right. How was that?
You know what? I
Yes.
have the Maid Behind the Bar music, and I was it was a different one than what you were.
Yeah, I feel like I got a different version too.
I was playing in harmony. Harmonies.
Dan played a different version.
I did?
Yeah.
Well, but I'm gonna play what Astrid's holding up. Oh, that part's different. That's all the that's all that's different though. It's just that one bar.
And there's something in this in the first bar of the B portion. There was something different there.
Oh, it does. It goes to the high B. Oh, okay. All right. Well, let's try it again. I'll pull that version up. It's good
It did.
practice for you guys, though.
The harmony was sounded great.
Well, that's the thing about different versions. Often they can exist on top of each other, and it's really nice.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's really sometimes it's not, but it's still worth a try. Okay, let's give her another go. Was there any problem with the speed? Do you think we could go a tiny bit faster? Tiny bit. Okay. I'll try not to. How about that? Okay. 1, 2, 3, go. right, did the faster go okay? That's good. Any questions or problems? Yep.
On the B part, the second bar,
Yep.
um, there's a quarter note at the end of the bar,
Yep.
and so that messes up my bowing.
Got to do an up up after.
An up, or would I do an up up before and then go on the down on the next bar?
Usually what you do with this when there's a long note like that is you do an up up with the next two eighth notes.
Okay.
And that certainly is what my arm is doing of its own accord at that point. So that's what I would do. So the E and the F are going to be in an up bow slur there.
Okay.
Yeah, and it's a good that you point that out because that's one that kind of takes you by surprise. It's on beat, like the quarter note is on beat 4, and that means you're upping on beat 1, which is kind of a surprise.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
but that will put your bow straight. Okay, cool. Now, what I would like you to do with these two tunes is next time we'll practice them a little faster. And then we're going to squish them together to be a set. Okay? And I think we'll do the Made Behind the Bar first. So it's going to sound like this. Well, actually, why don't we just do it? So let's play the Made Behind the Bar and then follow it with the Silver Spear. We'll do one each and we'll just see how they go together. And the way we're going to end it, the Made Behind the Bar is... That's the Silver Spear, okay? So that's how we're going to go from one tune to the other. It's good because that half note D gives us a nice break to have a breather, smoke half a cigarette or whatever, and then start that Silver Spear, okay? With the cigarette firmly in your mouth, Brian Tahany style. Let's give it a go. 1, 2, 3, go. Now, how did that go? Did it work? Not too hard, eh? We'll work it on it more next time. Now, why don't we get out Tur Dum De La, and we're going to give that a couple of goes. Give me your hand. Where is it? To this top. Can't remember how to spell it, that's the problem. It's like, is it now? I think it's like a TH. TH? No. Tur Dum De La. Oh, there it is. All right. Tur Dum De La. Let's do it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. Let's do it again. I love that tune. Any problems?
Yeah, here we go. This is a 3/4 time. So on the first beat of every bar, it's the bow won't be an up bow or a down bow. It just Does it matter?
It'll
I
be
think
down
it's
bow.
just the
It's a
first
really
one.
good question. So for me, the way that I do waltzes, and it's kind of a common way to do waltzes, is I do this down, up, up, down, up, down, up, down, kind of like that pattern. So you watch this. See that?
Yeah.
Down, up, down, up, down, for the most part. And when you get into the busier parts, I don't. And then I'm back to it. So whenever you can, whenever it's lined up kind of quarter notes like that, it's a good rhythmic thing to do, because down bow is your strongest bow. It's your strongest note. It gives you a good downbeat. And then the other two, it can be the pickup. Now, you play waltzes like on your other instrument, and so waltzes are kind of like, they can be felt three ways. They can be felt 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, which is a very common way. They can also be on the 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And when your people are dancing a waltz, you'll often get that one. Or there's the Strauss waltz. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2. And it's more prevalent than you might think. So when I'm playing a dance and they form up for a waltz, I basically try to do all three. But I do find that the second one is more prevalent. So that means that I go down, up, down, up, down, up, like that.
Yeah.
Okay? Does that
Okay.
help?
Yeah, it does. It really helps. Yeah.
So we'll do this tune again. We'll keep working on this tune with bowing in mind, because it's a really good example for it, and see if we can get that waltz rhythm going. And then we're going to stick together the silver spear and the maid behind the bar. And after that, we'll do something different. But that's what we'll do next week. Alrighty?
Very good. Thanks. Thanks,
Excellent,
Dan.
guys. We'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Oh, wait. I should look at the calendar, because we're almost at crunch time for St. Patrick's craziness. But I think I'm good for next week. Let's just make sure. So next week is March the 6th. Yeah, we're good. We're still good. It's not until the following one that we get busy. Okay, we'll see you guys later.
Bye-bye.
Bye.